Dakota.
Excused.
Tanea. Here. Izzy. Sandy.
Here.
Amal. Here. Sebastian.
He's here. Just not listening.
Dylan.
Here.
Carl.
Here.
Cameron.
Here.
Grayson.
Here.
Mallory.
Unexcused for now.
Andrew Mondry.
Excuse. Mallory's excused.
I was about to say, like, there's a few people missing. Are they chalking or?
No, Mallory had a personal thing that she told me about. Sorry.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, she told me too. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Andrew's excused, he has an RA thing.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Okay. RJ.
Give him the big U. Unexcused.
Jesse.
Here.
Marty. Jimmy.
Here.
Sydney. Here. Andrew Taylor. He has
Right.
Sean.
Here.
Reed. Here.
Alrighty, can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? For the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from last week? A second. Any objections? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, this week we have a guest speaker, student trustee Anna Crisp.
That's okay. All right, hi guys. Just another update from our last meeting. Starting with Clinical Affairs, we had a presentation from UTMC. They're revising their bylaws to more accurately reflect UTMC structure. Also, kind of more interestingly, there was a presentation by Dr. James Wiley. He is a lung cancer specialist pulmonary doctor, and he shared kind of some information about it, or information with us and some of the research he's been doing. Just to give you guys some stats, in the US in 2010, 220,000 people were diagnosed with lung cancer and 160,000 of those people died. And so his research is showing that CT scans significantly reduce mortality by 20%. And so he's working with UTMC to make that happen more often, and also gaining a lot of research funding for that. For academic and student affairs, Dakota was there to give the student government report. I don't see her, but she did a really wonderful job, and I'm excited that you guys are going to have a presence at meetings consistently like that. As for the faculty senate report, they are focusing on lowering the baccalaureate credits required to graduate from 126 to 120, so that's kind of exciting. A couple less classes. From Graduate Council report, they did a curriculum review, a policy review, and we're more focused on creating some pipeline programs, which basically means taking an undergraduate program that ties right into a graduate program. And then also wanting to do some professional development for graduate faculty and collaborating with Rocket Innovations. For finance and audit, not much has changed. We did an internal audit and compliance update that focused on addressing financial aid and Title IX programming. Did a quarterly financial report talking about revenues, expenses, operating budget. As I'm sure you guys can guess, not much change. We talked about a multiple campus master plan, so really connecting all of our campuses to one with student life and resources and things like that. And then also just a financial update with the UT Foundation. Lastly, and kind of my favorite part, was the Trusteeship and Governments Committee meeting. We had a personnel action report, but then there was also a diversity update from Dr. Willie McKether. Have you guys been involved with him at all yet? He's the
coordinated with diversity week.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So he gave us kind of an update. He's been focusing on, he's doing focus groups for student, staff, faculty, and the community on their perceptions of diversity at UT. And I thought it was interesting to see the different opinions that people had. So to start, students had, they found that there was a disparate treatment of organizations based on race, sexual orientation, and certain stereotypes. Staff noted a university hierarchy, kind of like an inner circle, and also noted that there were few opportunities for advancement because of that. Faculty noted the few opportunities for advancement as well, and also mentioned that there was too little diversity in administration. And then the community noted that they believe that the university should be a leader in diversity, and also noted a lack of student, faculty, staff, and board of trustees diversity. So I thought that that was just interesting to kind of see what everybody's different perceptions are on diversity, and it kind of proves that, you know, this is something that we have a lot of different facets to look at and find the best possible plan. But Dr. McKether is going to have a draft of that plan to Dr. Gaber in April or early April. And then towards the end of April and early May, he's going to have a campus review comment opportunity. So really be on the lookout for that. I hope to hear some of you guys' voices noted in that. And then his goal is to have the diversity plan complete by May 13th. So we'll have it effective for the fall. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to add? Dakota, I complimented your speech that you had at the meeting, so thank you for coming. You're welcome. Nothing? Okay, good luck with you guys' town hall meeting tomorrow. I can't wait to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Cody.
Okay, that's all we had for guest speakers. So we can move on to open floor. Anyone have anything for open floor? Any spring concerts that any future presidents of CAP would like to talk about, maybe, or no?
So our spring concert is Friday, April 22nd. It is for the Allen featuring Bryce Vine. It's $10 for UT students, $35 for non-UT students, but we'll have discount days, so you'll have to just like watch out for our Twitter accounts when we'll have discount days. We also are looking for volunteers, so if any of you guys want to volunteer, you get your ticket for free. I think that's all I got. Unless you guys have any questions about the concert in general.
Can we go to you like after the meeting and get more info about volunteering?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can students, like, where do they go to buy their tickets?
Savage Arena, it started today, and then tomorrow opens up to the general public online and over the phone. But you can only, for students, you can only go to Savage Arena to get them.
Any other questions for Kelsey? All right, thank you. Anything else for open floor? Going once, going twice. All right. We can now move into appointments. We have Hunter, who's eligible for appointment. How do you pronounce your last name? Abby? Eby? Eby. Okay. Is it spelled right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Could you please come to the front and, if you would, just give like a 30-second kind of summary of basically your name, major, why you're interested in student government, and then we'll open up to questions.
I'm Hunter Eby. My major is biology with a focus on pre-medicine. I wanted to join student government because I wanted to be more involved on campus. I was part of a fencing club. I was a treasurer there, and I got the fencing team to go. I got the fencing club to join the MSC. They are now part of the, they're in a league with Michigan, Ohio State, MSU, and so we really took them to the next level, and I hope to apply my skills in the treasury at the fencing club, and I hope to apply it here in student government and really help Toledo grow and thrive. And I want to really leave my mark here at Toledo. Any questions?
I don't think so. Dylan?
What other organizations other than Fencing Club are you involved in on campus?
Not much. I transferred here freshman year from a little school called OSU. And I really, from OSU, I observed a lot of traditions that they had, and I hope to not mimic or copy, I hope to build tradition here at the University of Toledo. I really want Toledo to have its own and really have their own.
Any other questions? In regards to your daily schedule, do you think that student government, maybe about 4 hours a week max, do you think that's a decent amount to fit into your schedule?
Easily.
Okay. No other questions? Okay, seeing no questions, we can move into debate. Any debate? Ian, do you have any questions for Hunter?
Hello.
All right, seeing no more informative questions, we can move into debate. Any debate? Trish? You hear a second? All those in favor of appointing Hunter, please raise your hand. All opposed?
All right, congratulations. If you could remain standing while I'm clapping this. If you remain standing, Dylan will read you the oath, if he has it. He does.
Raise your hand, please. I state your name.
I, Henry,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the values
to uphold the values
that this organization represents.
that this organization represents.
I state your name.
I, Henry,
Promise to uphold the student government constitution,
promise to uphold the student government constitution,
its bylaws,
its bylaws,
and the student code of conduct
and the student code of conduct
in my new position.
in my new position.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congrats. Another week, another senator. Very exciting. And we have another one eligible, or I believe Samuel is eligible after he has his interview. So we could have another member, at least one more member before the end of the semester. So pretty exciting. We made it a focal point to bring in new membership, bring in some new people, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that so far. And I hope that the momentum keeps on going until the end of the semester. Okay, so with that, we can move into reports, and we'll start with internal with Nadine.
Okay, so tomorrow is the town hall. It's from 12:30 to 3 in Student Union 2591, which is the room right across here. If you guys could all comment if you guys could all get there 10 minutes early so that we can all be there while students are coming in, that would probably be nice. I already know a handful of people who are going to be there at 12:30. So basically what we're going to do, it might depend on how many people are coming, but for the most part, it'd be like this senators mingling with all the students. So you kind of approach the students, and all of you should go in there with a question, something about campus, something about curriculum that you want to get feedback from. I'm also going to have Trisha send me all the surveys we've done, so if you can't think of anything for some reason, you can fall back on one of the surveys. But I'll try to come with a question and maybe bring a notebook or something so you're like engaged while they're speaking to you. I also gave out business cards, the Utsg business cards for everyone who's going to be there. So if you're going to be there or you need more, just come let me know and I'll give you some more. Basically for that, we have a Facebook event, and just kind of text all your friends and tell them about that there's free pizza and that we're doing a raffle. Also, we have a date for the organization barbecue. It's going to be April 19th from 5 to 8, so it'll be a Tuesday before our meeting. And we're kind of still in the works for that, but we do have a date, and we did reserve the queue for that. If it rains, then we also have it reserved for the 20th. That's pretty much everything immediate. Mainly, we just need to focus on tomorrow and just trying to bring people and be excited and stuff, so.
Hi, so our main focus right now is to get as many people as possible to the town hall meeting. I think it's a really good opportunity to get student government's name out there, and since there's going to be things like free pizza and drink, and there's going to be the raffle for the Rockies gift card, it's like a really good way to show that we're giving back to the students. So today our committee actually chalked up 3 of the boards. So we're going to have, and tomorrow there is a tabling event. So how it's going to work is from 10 to 12, we have the table from 10 to 2. So from 10 to 12, I'm gonna need 2 people to sign up to just table regularly. And then from 12 to 3, or to 2, since I guess we don't have the table after that, Nadine is going to send people who are volunteering at the town hall to the table, because tomorrow the entire tabling event is gonna be surrounded again, like around getting people to the town hall. So we're gonna have the 3 chalkboards. We're gonna have 1 at the actual table, and then 2 more just leading up people up to the room. And then I printed out like 50 flyers for the town hall meeting. So those will be at the table. Just hand them out to people who are who seem interested but can't go that minute or something along those lines. So basically, you're just gonna be telling people hey, there's free pizza, free drinks, and the Rockets gift cards. Or Rocky's Locker gift cards at the town hall meeting. I'm going to pass out around a sheet to see if anyone is interested in tabling from 10 to 11 and from 11 to 12. Also, I know some of you guys owe me 2 tabling events this month because you didn't go to big event for any reason. Town hall does count as a tabling. So if you're volunteering at town hall for 2 hours, then that will count towards your 2 table times. if you don't want to. I think it's a fun alternative to just sitting at a table. You could actually go and just talk to students and things like that. Also, if you're done with your 2 table times and you want to stay for 3 hours, it counts as an office hour for the week. So if you don't want to do your office hour this week, you could also volunteer to do the town hall. I highly suggest it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I don't know who's in APO here, but APO has decided to give a service hour to any of the members that attend town hall. So we might actually get a big turnout. So we do need a lot of student volunteers. Okay, that's basically it. I'll put around a sheet for whoever wants to table.
Thank you. Trish, and the mic's coming from behind you.
Hi. Okay, so last week's survey was about campus affairs stuff. It was about the Walk with Doug. I don't know, from my glance at it, it looked like a lot of people were concerned about the union. And some kind of fixer-upper things around campus, like the benches in Centennial Mall. Those should be painted. That was a lot of them too. And yeah. And then this week's question has to do with the presidential debate, as in not nationally, but our presidential debate. And we were just basically asking students what they would like to be asked during that debate, what they want out of presidential candidates, basically. So yeah, that's it. Don't forget.
So to kind of build on the survey from last week, at our meeting today we began going through them, and overall we have a lot of good responses ranging all over campus, so that's good. So within the next week we will be finishing compiling those, kind of going through and trying to pinpoint exactly where each complaint is. Next week we will be actually going around campus and seeing them ourselves, and we have the Walk with Doug planned for Tuesday, April 19th in the afternoon. So that is off in the distance at this point, but it will count as your office hour that week, and I'll make sure none of you forget by then. In addition to that, we are pushing forward on our other projects as well. However, there isn't a huge amount of items to report on at this time.
Thank you. SJC?
Okay, first of all, thank you for all of the legislation this week. We have 4 pieces tonight, so that's awesome. Keep it coming until the end of the semester. I hope that seeing all this legislation motivates other people to create pieces, not only for now, but the upcoming academic year this fall. I also wanted to speak about, I went to the recent Natural Sciences and Mathematics College meeting. So we talked about a few things. They made a change to a course. It's called Principles of Organic and Inorganic Chemistry. It's a graduate class, so it really doesn't concern many of you, but if you went to grad school here, it does. Because there is an increase in the amount of people that have applied to the grad program and have accepted. It's more about just fine-tuning everything, making sure that there is the right amount of credit hours as well as coverage in all topics in the class. So they're also voting is underway for anyone that wants to be on the Natural Sciences and Mathematics Council in terms of faculty members. Everyone that I see there is really advocating for students as well as what is in the best interest of their class. So I really like seeing that. I know, Ian, they were talking about the e-textbooks. They were like, oh, there was someone from student government discussing the textbooks and what our plan is in terms of subsidizing the cost of the textbooks or even potentially moving to online textbooks. And they did talk about that a lot. So that was really good to hear, at least from a student's standpoint, to hear of a faculty member speaking about what student government is doing, first of all. But second, they were talking about that they did not believe that the money was returning to the university, the contract that they have with Barnes & Noble, which I thought was interesting because they thought that was what the impression that everyone was under, that the money that all students spend at Barnes & Noble would somehow be given back to the university, and that there would be this connection, but they did not feel that way. They just knew that there is also a contract for recent editions, which I know some of you have probably come across before. Your professors asking, oh, well, we would like the most recent edition, and apparently it's because of another contract, which I did not know existed. They also talked about the investment in TAs. I know if you're a science major, you know that a TA will make all the difference in a class, whether it's physics or organic chemistry, anything like that. And they were talking about how they were advocating for more investment in TAs as far as hiring more people. There will be an experiential learning mandate in the 2016-2017 outgoing, or something close to a finding or possibly a publication. But if you know anyone that is qualified enough to be a judge or they have a good project, let them know. As you know, I discussed this last time, there will be a 3% overall university cutback across the board, more specifically in NSM. They said about 1 million altogether lost, which is a lot, especially for a university that is so big into natural sciences and mathematics. I see it more as, I don't mean to put this in like science terms, but it's just kind of like the physiology of the university. It just, you have to go, sometimes you have to make these cutbacks in order to advance in future years to come. You know, we have this 10-year strategic planning thing coming on, and if we can at least cut back for a year, make our opportunities and our ideals more realistic instead of setting them so high, we can save money and then invest whatever we make back into the university. So that is all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Okay, so next week is the big week, Diversity Week. I probably will need some volunteers. Off the top of your heads, is anyone interested in helping with the kickoff tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday, which runs from noon to 2? Okay. Alrighty. Anybody else? All right, I appreciate it. So for Diversity Week, steering has decided to classify a level 3 expenditure for the food for that event in the amount of $300. We budgeted $500 for Diversity Week all along, so it ended up being right at the line of how much we were willing to spend. We didn't have to worry about pushing other things aside to help fund Diversity Week, but at the same time we were able to contribute a substantial amount to make sure that this year's Diversity Week is the greatest ever, which I firmly believe it will be. I printed out about 200 flyers for Diversity Week just to find out that we added 3 or 4 other events. So I can't really be mad about printing all those flyers out when I've realized that our week of events just became kind of a 10-day marathon of diversity-related forums. I think a lot of them offer food and chances to meet with people you've never met before. I believe Black Student Union's bringing in a distinguished speaker. Still can't remember the name. David Banner. He used to be a rapper, and now he's more towards a social activist. A very popular person. I'm personally going to go. I believe is it free? Yeah, Wednesday, and it's free if you pre-register, I believe. And that's taking place at Driscoll, but if you'd follow UT Diversity Week on Twitter as well as on Facebook, you'll know all about it. I'd strongly encourage you all to do so, considering you're part of the organization that is funding and holding all of its events. Bear with me, I am sick, so you're going to hear my nasally voice for like the next 30 minutes. Spring concert, Kelso did bring that up. Huddy Allen, Bryce Fine, April 22nd, I believe. Okay, that's a Friday. And again, any volunteers, if anyone's willing to volunteer, it'd be greatly appreciated. In regards to presidential debate, not the national one, the smaller Toledo one, I've contacted the Independent Collegian. They're willing to completely host the event. I want to make sure that they are confident they can find a venue as well as a time and date that works with all the candidates, because I realize booking an event in the student union this late in the game is pretty difficult. In the past, we've done it in Trimble Lounge, but I do realize that Diversity Week will be set up all week in Trimble Lounge, so there might be a little bit of a difficulty there, but hopefully we'll know by the end of the week the exact time and location for this debate. Hopefully we can get some kind of live streaming going on, hint, maybe. But either way, we'll make sure that we'll get it out there via social media and marketing. The Independent Collegian they said that they're willing to live tweet as well as kind of promote it from their end. Hopefully that could involve an article in the IC. So If the ISD reaches out to any of you regarding the elections, please take the opportunity to talk to them, give them some information, because I think it's a great opportunity for them to realize how exciting elections are, not only for us, but for the whole student body. I didn't forget this time, Senator of the Week. This week it goes to another newer member. Helped a lot with internal affairs this week with planning for the town hall, and has been a pretty good member so far, and he's not in the room. Jimmy. Is he? Oh, I thought you were sitting somewhere else. I'm very sorry. Yeah, thank you. All right. Sorry about that. I legitimately thought you were sitting right there. Tunnel vision. And that's all I have for my report. Let's give it up for Ian. And Ian has no report. I like it. I like it a lot. Best report you could give. So we're going into new business. We have 4 pieces of new business. I'm very grateful for the time everyone spent writing all of this. Definitely shows the work ethic that you guys have, as well as some ideas you guys can bring to the table. First one is our immigration resolution. Author Sebastian Wright. Any comments by the author? No comments?
No comments.
Can you please just summarize it real quick?
Yeah, well, basically, what this piece is trying to do is that I want to try to convince student legal services to consider the possibility of looking to hiring an immigration lawyer. I talked to, well, there was this case earlier in the year, and this lady was afraid for immigration status. And when I talked to student legal services as to how to help her, they said that they didn't have an active immigration lawyer that could help her with her issues. So I did some research, looked around, and I found out that the Center of International Studies did help international students with immigration stuff. However, they don't have any active lawyers that can help them in the most extreme cases and things that could very well potentially put them in a deportation status. So I think that it's very important for these people to have the right to have someone that can represent them in a court of law.
Thank you. Any questions for the author? Any debate on this piece? Anyone? Any motions?
Motion to approve by raising hand.
Hear a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Anyone, any objections? All those in favor of approving this, please raise your hand. All opposed? Okay, this resolution passes. One down. And I presume you'll bring this to Student Legal Services to let them know. Okay. Next up is, this is the organic chemistry lab gloves. Sandeep and Dylan wrote this. Would either of you like to comment on the legislation? Alrighty. My apologies. You can talk for your legislation. You just can't debate.
Okay, so this basically is just a resolution. I had an experience about a week before spring break. I picked up a bottle of nitric acid, which is potentially very dangerous if you spill it on yourself. I didn't even spill it on myself, but someone had not followed lab procedure, and they had spilled it over the bottle, so that when I picked it up, it had been dripping on the side. I had several yellow marks within my hand. It had burned my hand. I had to run it underwater for 15 minutes. Well, not really, but it really hurt. Anyway, it's kind of, I find odd that we would not have gloves in organic chemistry lab, because anyone that does research, anyone that enters any biology lab, chemistry lab knows that the first thing that you do is you put on your goggles, and then you put on your latex gloves. That's just how it works. I find it odd that we would not have it. I do not find that it would be too costly, but even if it were, we're talking about the safety of students, and it really surprises me that this didn't exist. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know.
I have a question about the
included in the therefore let it be resolved part. Because it's not, they're not reasons for why this is a problem.
So what are you gonna do?
So you should move those to you should make those part of the therefore let it be resolved. So you'll make 2 more bullet points down there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you could just change whereas to let it be resolved.
But there's also like a whereas. at the
That one
bottom,
point,
so-
it would fit better within therefore let it be resolved. Yeah.
If you want to just highlight it, we can do that later.
It's the second to last one, and then the third to last.
Yeah.
So disposable bed, or
Yeah. No, the one above.
No, yeah.
okay, any other questions?
Any estimated costs? Because we're talking about lots of labs going through lots of latex gloves.
I'm talking about, I think I looked, it was around $10 for a box. I feel that they could allocate money towards this simply because you're only going to get 1 pair for the entire lab, unless you did have a secondary process in which you had to absolutely take off your gloves. The only thing I could think of was something called an HNMR test. You would take off your gloves and then perhaps put them on again, but I really don't see the debate in someone spilling something on themselves and then, oh, we didn't want to put money towards gloves. I don't really see that as potentially a problem.
Would we be able to push this into the lab fees that we charge students? Like, because it's, I think, only $10 for a box, and you only use toxic chemicals in so few labs, added to the lab fees for students that take organic chemistry.
Okay, so our lab fees are already like a few $100s, which is, pretty high. My deal is they could probably reallocate the money so that they're not buying such a large quantity of chemicals, or even potentially reallocating it to this and then shifting all of that around. I know that they could do that. They talk about green chemistry in every lab. There's no reason why that they couldn't decrease the quantity of chemicals that they use every single week. There's already a large amount that's wasted. Again, this is more of like a recommendation. We can't, as a student government, just make them buy it. And being within NSM, I think that this would make it easier to advocate for, since I see them pretty often. But that's a good point to bring up, the cost and efficiency.
How do you plan on converting?
So this is a representation of us as a student government. So if I took this to them and said, look, this is kind of where we see the problem within this college, or more specifically like the safety of students. That's your job. That's your job to represent the safety and the concerns and the needs of all students. I could see this potentially being really big for student government, and even if they were not able to swing the cost, or if they weren't able to see, people would see this as us advocating for students and pushing for safety.
So, I didn't know this before, but apparently they don't use latex glove in OChem lab because of the reactivity of like whatever you're using with the gloves. Like an acid burn on latex will fuse the latex to your skin. So that's worse than getting it on your skin itself.
So then what?
It would have to be rubber.
It would have to be like heavy duty gloves, which are like expensive.
But there are other like forms of gloves. Obviously, like you could change that if it were latex. I'll do more research on that. But
So we might want to.
there are other forms. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Carl.
Yeah, I think they're probably legally required to have gloves in the lab already, so maybe this is just oversight, so they will have to buy gloves. And gloves are inexpensive. Even if it's an expensive material, they should be able to cover the cost once you buy. So this is just a recommendation. I think we should pass this. Student safety is very important.
Well, okay, since Trish brought up a point about latex gloves, I would rather look into that
Even
and
just
see the
remove word
potential.
latex and just say gloves.
Possibly. Sebastian.
You know, one of the things that I first looked at when you wrote this piece was the fact that you only mentioned latex gloves, and so people are allergic to latex. I was just going to make the recommendation that you add a different kind of synthetic rubber gloves into that legislation. But with Trish, after Trish said that, maybe you should just look into that direction so, it doesn't confuse people.
Okay, what if we just said in general gloves and then let them handle that, since they do have the expertise and the knowledge to know which gloves are and are not dangerous.
Okay, we can take care of that during debate. Is there any other questions for the author? Okay. Thank you, Dylan. Now we can move into debate. Any motions to make that change for the gloves, Marty?
Motion to
Second.
Any objections? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so go ahead and...
I think it says it at the top.
Okay. So now we're just recommending gloves, not latex gloves. Okay, any other debate?
It says it again.
Yeah, Control F will solve all your problems. Alrighty. Yes, sir.
motion to approve application.
We hear a second? Any objections? You said acclamation. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, this resolution passes. I'm going to put this over here before I click it again. So I have it. Alright, so this is our cookout for the College of Engineering by none other than the great Cameron Forsyth. Any comments by the author?
Not really. Just to kind of give an overview, it's a cookout that's being sponsored by all of the different College of Engineering organizations, and then it'll be open to pretty much anyone who shows up. It'll be between the engineering buildings, as stated, and although it says it's to give the money to the Biomedical Engineering Society for the purchase, it's for the purchase for the event for everyone. I didn't want to just throw money at no one. So that's why I included their organization name in there.
Any questions for the author?
So this event is only open to engineering students, correct?
That is not correct. It will be pretty much open to anyone who shows up. Although it will primarily be advertised to engineering students, it will be open to pretty much anyone.
Well, in the legislation, it just says it will be open to all students within the College of Engineering, so maybe we should add that specification of if you...
I agree with that. Maybe we should just change that to within the university.
Okay, Emma, could you please make that change? Are there any other questions for Cameron?
When is this scheduled for?
Unfortunately, I don't have the exact date with me. It should be the week before finals or the week before that, but it'll be heavily advertised.
And on the subject of advertising, we have included that this will help advertise for student government as well, correct?
Correct. Within the legislation itself, it states that we have a student government banner hanging right in the center of one of the engineering buildings year-round, which it's actually there right now. Then also, it isn't within the legislation, but they have promised that if we would like, we can hang a SG banner at the event,
Okay.
depending on if we're able to actually do it, because it is outside.
Okay. Any other questions for the author? Yes, sir.
Since you just said that's outside, if the event gets rained out, what happens to the $200 spent? Does it come back to us or they included it alone?
That is something that I have not looked into. However, considering it'll be used before the event happens, I would imagine there will be a rain date, but that's something that I can look into as well.
Any other questions? Any debate? Nadine, what's the budget looking like?
Right now, we'll probably have around $490.
How much?
$490 after all of
Factoring in the future expenditures. So about $490 of flexible spending is what we're looking at, yes?
So, Cameron, did you just say this event is going to be outside? Or is it going to be inside Palmer Mall?
It will be outside. The banner itself that's there year-round is within Palmer. The event will be between Palmer, North Engineering, and Utsg Hall.
Okay. So if people are not able to see the flyer, then, well, sorry, the banner, then how's that going to help us make advertising organization? You know, the way that I see it is that I think that we should also kind of give flyers out to this event so people actually know that this is coming from student government. You know, I mean, I'm not against giving money to organizations to help them out, but I think, you know, something should come back to us as well. You know, we scratch your back, just scratch ours, that kind of deal.
Going off what Sebastian said, do you think they would have a problem with us passing out business cards at the cookout?
I don't foresee that being an issue at all.
Maybe we can just add something like that. I'm sure so.
Stemming off of that, in the past, they've had organizations table at their events, so maybe possibly make a scene on the table at the dinner, or the barbecue. Okay. Yes.
And kind of building on that, I haven't actually discussed that in specific with them, but pretty much with the organizations that are working together, we'll be able to do that. I can pretty much guarantee that, but I have to look into it.
Okay. Any other debate? Any motions? Marty?
Motion to table
A motion to table? Here a second?
Wait,
Okay. That's a little better. Motion to approve acclamation. There a second. Any objections? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, this resolution passes. And we have one more for new business and one for old business. I believe this last one's a bill. It's to establish an ad hoc for the Constitutional Committee, written by the Roomy, Seabass. Going crazy with the legislation this week. Alrighty, there it is. Is it formatted pretty similarly to the sustainability ad hoc, engineering ad hoc, or did you?
No, I kind of just.
Okay, I just skimmed it to be honest, so just making sure. So if you want to go ahead and talk about it, it'd be great.
Okay, well, basically it's just for us to create an ad hoc committee that goes to the Constitution. We have to look at it every year, and with the new system of voting, they kind of require us to do that. I know last year we had several issues because it wasn't, official. So we had a lot of people that just kind of went their own way, and we had people conflicting. And I don't think that's really beneficial because there were a lot of good ideas from both informal committees as well. And a lot of the ideas were not really compromised. You're not really talked about. And yeah, there's good recommendations there, so we can go over it later if you have some questions.
Okay. Any questions? Nadine?
So at the end, you say that steering members can't be in charge of the committee, but they can be on the committee. Is there a reason why the steering members shouldn't be in charge of the committee?
Yeah, so there's two reasons actually. One, I think it's a conflict of interest because perhaps you might make your committee more powerful than the other. I know we're supposed to balance this stuff, but I kind of see that a conflict of interest there. And number two, I see ad hocs as kind of like the paved way for senators. Like my goal is to have a new senator kind of take over this committee, kind of learn the ropes, learn to lead and whatnot, and then perhaps, the fact that they feel like their experience might make them run for the big committees. So I just kind of, it's a baby committee, so I just kind of want them to feel like they have control, they, learn how to, handle debate and take votes and that stuff.
Any other questions? Any debate? Remember, this is a bill we cannot approve today. This is our first reading. We can approve next week. Any debate? Jimmy?
Motion to table the bill.
Here a second? Any objections? All those in favor of tabling, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, this bill's tabled till next week. And now we're on to old business, where we have the second reading of the town hall bill, I believe. And Andrew wrote that, but he's not here. So Nadine, is there nothing was changed to it, was it? But has there been any updates that would be involved with this legislation at all? Nothing.
I mean, we kind of have to pass it because it's tomorrow, but.
All right, so any questions for Nadine? Any debate for this? Braden?
Motion to approve by acclamation.
There's a second?
Second.
Any objections? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? This bill passes. All right, that was pretty quick. So I believe that's all we have for new biz and old biz, hopefully. And now we are going to proceed into announcements. Great job, Emma, by the way, keeping track of all those legislation. Yep.
You already know. Jets, be there or be rectangular.
Oh. The dad joke. I can't handle the dad joke. Here. Trish, can you speak after that or? Okay.
If you haven't signed up for Hackathon yet, make sure you do that ASAP, as in not the day before, as in now. Okay.
So like now or?
Literally.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay, literally. Okay. I wouldn't have known about the literally. Any other announcements?
So Breakthrough, which is a cancer fundraising organization that I've talked a lot about, you guys probably heard me say it a lot. We're having a men's basketball tournament next Friday, and we really need people to sign up. So we don't have any teams yet, and I know that normally people decide to sign up the week of, but I just really want to encourage everyone here to, even if you're not a big basketball player, it's okay. Just come out. All of the money goes to local cancer patients. Who doesn't want to help them? Yeah. Get your friends to sign up if they like basketball, and the winners, it's $10 for each player to come in, and the winners get a $20 Chipotle gift card. But even if you don't win, there's gonna be snacks, there's gonna be Gatorade, and best of all, there's gonna be me and Vinaya. So.
Fair enough.
Do you need to have a team, or will you be placed on a team with like?
Let's just like a student government team.
Yeah, we always have a student government team. So we always have like a pipe team and a 5-side team. I want to see a student government team.
What's organized on
Sandy's
Facebook?
gonna do it. He says he's gonna do it.
When is it?
It's next Friday at 4 o'clock in the rec center.
Can you make an event on Facebook for it?
I'm gonna make a Facebook for him, and I want 5 guys from over here to make a team.
Burgers and fries.
I know, it's meant.
5 guys, burgers and fries.
Yeah, they get too
I'm
aggressive.
getting hungry now.
It gets really aggressive.
Gotta start throwing some elbows.
Okay, got 2 other things. One, I want you guys to share the event on Facebook, share on Twitter. It's tomorrow. It's kind of meetings, so just share. Second of all, my group, PSSA, is going to have someone talk about study abroad. It's at 7 in the field house. It's going to be free pizza, free drinks. So if you guys want free dinner, then go. It's awesome. That's it.
What's the name of George Loco's organization?
The what?
The organization that George Loco is a part of, that you're with?
Oh, one more announcement. Sorry. Okay. So African People's Association is having African Night on Saturday. Doors open at 6:30 and it's at 7 o'clock. So there's going to be food. It's $10 a ticket if you buy it from Ask Rockies in the Union before the event, and if you come at the event, it's $15. So highly recommend you buy it sometime this week. There's going to be food, there's going to be dances, there's going to be a fashion show, which your very own external affairs chairman is going to be in. So you know you want to come. So definitely suggest you guys come up to that. It's going to be really fun. It's similar to like ISA, but it's the ISA dinner. So if any of you guys have gone to that, it's very similar. Any questions about that?
No question? Oh, Hunter?
You want me to give the plans for the plants and operations meeting that we're going over?
Sure.
Things that are going to be completed over the summer on main campus. We all know that the bridge over Stadium Drive is being repaired. They are going to be repairing all parking ramps and I believe parking lots over the summer. Elevator replacement at U-Haul, and that's on the northwest side, and the Bominati northeast side. Computer center is going to be totally renovated. They are implementing a green initiative on campus to reduce campus energy reduction. It's going to be a small project, nothing too huge. They're doing a whole utilities repair. I believe this is on the engineering campus. Palmer Hall and North are all getting new roofs and stuff. Palmer will be done by April. The U-Haul tower clock will be up after graduation to 6 to 8 weeks. It's missing on the east side. The glass bowl, new turf, and the side closest to the rec center is going to be brand new. And that's it. Health and science, they're getting all new stuff. Also, they're looking for student volunteers because they're going to be cleaning out every building, every division, starting with health and science all the way down to liberal arts. They're going to be cleaning out all their stuff. Oh, the library is also getting renovated, third and fourth floor. They're trying to make it get more natural light in, so I believe they're adding more to the west side for natural light.
Awesome. Well, let's give them a hand for taking the meeting last week. Thank you very much for attending that, and thanks for conveying that information. Any other announcements? Dial on.
Okay, I have a friend, and he is the president of something called Comedy Club. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. It's kind of funny, but they play chess and they volunteer, and they are in love with comedy. It's really funny, but they are having an open mic night in room, I believe it's 3018, and that's the room that's closest to Phoenicia, and it's music, improv, and stand-up comedy. I know I love improv. It's April 1st, 8 to 10:30. It's only $5 at the door, and I'm pretty sure there's like pizza and other food there. So if anyone's possibly interested in this, here's a flyer. Yeah, so yeah. I'm pretty sure. Please don't. Also, next week on Thursday, UNICEF, we're having a water gala, and we're serving Jimmy John's. So if anyone likes Jimmy John's, then go for it. On Thursday, it's 5 to 7. This Thursday. Next Thursday. And by the way, this is 8 to 10:30. Anyone wants a flyer?
Any other announcements?
I just really want to say one more time, I put the picture on the Facebook group. Cancer patient, guys. They need us. So make a change, please. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of desperate.
I see 3 basketball players right there.
Any other announcements? No? You raised your hand? What's your announcement, man?
Sign up for basketball.
Alrighty.
Thank you. I knew I could count on you.
All right, and I want to reiterate my apology for Invisible Jimmy. He's right there. I see him now. I apologize. Won't happen again. We'll make a Vine of it from the live stream later and laugh about it, hopefully. With that, we please move into the final roll call if Dak is ready.
Cody?
Here.
Ian?
Yep.
Nadine? Here. Trisha? Here. Emma? Here. Linnea? Here. Izzy? Sandy?
Here.
Amal? Here. Sebastian?
Here.
Dylan?
Here.
Carl? Cameron?
Here.
Brandon?
Here.
Valerie?
Excuse.
Andrew Marjorie?
Excused.
RJ?
RJ's on excuse.
Jesse? Here. Marty?
Here.
James?
Here.
Sydney? Here. Andrew? T? T excuse?
Andrew T.
Yeah, isn't he an artist?
I say, wasn't he an all-ball? We excused him last time. That's fine. My
Sean?
bad.
Reed? Yeah.
Alrighty. Thanks everybody for coming. This meeting's adjourned.